So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial using the Okalan Natural Color Eyeshadow Palette. And if you want to see how I did this, then just keep watching. So let's get started. First, I'm going to tie my hair back, and I forgot to show you this when I did my Shop Hush haul yesterday. This was something that I had bought from there also. This is from Etude house. And this is a very famous Korean brand. They have about 25 of their products on Shop Hush. They actually have a whole section called K-Beauty that you can click on if you're interested in Korean beauty products. But this was just so adorable that I couldn't resist when I placed my order. It was only $5, and it's a headband and it's cat ears. It's currently sold out right now, but their things at Shop Hush come in and out of stock all the time, so I'm sure it will be restocked at some point. And yeah, for $5 I couldn't resist. So I thought this would be cute to wear to tie my hair back. So I'm just going to put this on so that my hair won't fall in my face. Oh, this is so adorable. Actually, I think I better fix this off camera. I want to get it just right so that the skin is still exposed. I don't want to get makeup on the headband either. So let me fix this and I'll be back. Okay, so there was also something about this palette that I'm going to use today that I forgot to mention in yesterday's video, which is kind of important. So I'm going to be using the Okalan Natural Color Eyeshadow Palette from shophush.com. This is only $10. It's a dupe for the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. And there are two palettes on the website that look identical. One is going to say day and then have B in parentheses. This is not on the palette. I added the sticker on here just in case I decide at some point to get the other one. The other one is going to say night, and then it's going to have the letter A in parentheses. That is a dupe for the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Palette. And they both have the design inside of the Too Faced Bonbons palette. So I don't know why they didn't just shape the eyeshadows like the actual palettes that they were duping, because if they went so far as to name the colors the same thing, then at that point, what difference does it make, right? But anyways, yeah, this is the palette I'm going to be using, and I did want to just mention about the fact that there was a day and a night, or an A and a B palette. So in case you wanted to purchase that, you would have that information. Alright, I am going to start from the beginning, and I'll probably just edit out portions to make it a little more reasonable time-wise. So I'm going to start with Burt's Beeswax Lip Balm just to moisturize my lips. I love this stuff, and it is really intense as far as the plumping, or I don't want to say stinging, but it is borderline stinging sensation, but once you get used to it, it's kind of nice. So I just kind of let that sink in so that once I get to the lip products, my lips are nice and moisturized. For a primer, I'm going to use the PS Radiant Primer from Primark. And I have used this pretty much every day since I bought it. I want to make another trip to Primark soon and, you know, take a look at what else they have, because their stuff, it's like fast fashion, so it changes quickly, just like Forever 21, H&M, places like that. But they also have a really nice beauty section, so I want to see what else they have there. I also want to check out their Christmas decorations, because I watch certain people on YouTube just because they do Primark hauls, because I love that store. And a couple of the videos that I've seen recently, they were showing some Christmas decorations they had bought. And they've got some really cute stuff for, you know, very little money. This primer is perfect to go with my foundation because I've been using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation most of the time, most days, ever since I bought it. I try to just skip once in a while and use one of my other foundations because it feels so wasteful to have things just sitting around not being used. But the Fenty Beauty is a little bit drying, so this is the perfect primer to use with that. It just sort of balances it out a little bit. There's a lot of foundations that have come out in the last few months that are like oil control, long-lasting foundations, and I'm not really interested in trying those because my skin is borderline dry. Like, I know Maybelline just came out with a new foundation, and that falls into that category. The Huda Beauty foundation is also a long-lasting oil control foundation, so yeah. Speaking of Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation, I'm in the shade 160 Warm Peach, which I've never bought a foundation in my life that had the word peach in it. But this is a perfect match for me. And I've been using it with my Real Techniques Expert face brush, and it has just worked really great with this foundation and made me fall in love with this brush all over again. So I just gave it a few shakes, and then I pump a little bit on the brush, and I just do small sections at a time because this dries really fast. So you have to work quickly. Alright, so that was only 2 pumps to do my whole face. And I kind of like a more natural look. I do like full coverage, but I also want my face to look like my face and not look cakey or anything, so I'm going to leave it at that. Alright, and the next thing I'm going to use is the LA Girl Pro.conceal HD High Definition Concealer in the shade Porcelain. And what I do is I just squeeze this up until I can see that there's product just barely coming out of the tip there. And then I brush a little bit of it on, concentrating it on the inner part of the dark circle. And I'm going to go right in with this brush that I just used for my concealer. So you can see the difference that made. I mean, it's not going to cover it completely, but it does a damn good job. So I'm just squeezing a little bit more up. And do the same thing over here. Just try to focus it on the inner part of the circle, and then whatever's left on the outside. And then I don't always do this next step. It just depends on if I feel like it or not, because like I said, my skin is borderline dry, so I don't like to use too many powders on my face because, you know, it's going to aggravate that situation. But this is so good. This is the PS Rose powder from Primark. It's just a loose pink powder, and they have this in different shades depending on what your skin tone is. So I use the pink one, but they also have like a banana powder. And then I take this brush, gosh, I don't even remember the name of this, and the name of it has worn off. But I take this brush because of the size of it, and then I just swirl it into the powder that I put in the cap, tap off the excess, and then just set that powder. And this is just going to give it, set the powder? No, set the concealer. But this is just going to give it a little bit more of a brightening effect. Just going to brighten that area under the eyes a little bit more. But, you know, it's a trade-off because I do have dry skin, so I have to be careful. So I don't use it every day. I just use it, I don't know, whenever. Okay, so that's it for that. And next is going to be face contour. It is so hard to take myself seriously wearing this. It's so cute though, isn't it? I'm going to use the NYX Wonder Stick in the shade light/medium, and I'm just going to use the contouring side. And I'm going to use a Sephora Pro Flawless Airbrush in number 56 to blend it. So I'm just going to do that and then blend it with this brush. And I don't use the highlighter side because it's like a cream yellow highlight. Okay, for blush, I'm going to use something I haven't used in quite a while. This is my Benetint cheek blush or cheek tint. And the easiest way to do this is try to let some of the excess product drip back into the bottle and then take 3 drops, 1, 2, 3, like that, and then just use your fingers and blend it upward and outward. It's that simple. This is such an old school blush that doesn't get any love anymore, but it's going to go well with today's look because of what I'm going to use on my lips, and plus because of what I have on for a top today. Okay, and for a highlight, I'm going to use ColourPop Flexitarian highlighter. This is my most poppin' highlighter for sure. Now, let's see. I think I'll use a Real Techniques setting brush to apply this today. So I'm just going to brush some of that onto the brush. I'm going to go right across the top of my cheekbones. And then I'm going to take it just a little bit onto the temple. And you can make this more intense by applying it with your fingers. You can just swirl a finger in there and then just spread it on that way. But I want it to be a little tamer today. Once you're in like a public place with artificial lights, this looks 1,000 times brighter on your face. Sometimes it's almost too much, but it's really pretty. And then I'm going to take Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Light. And this Real Techniques blush brush. I use this for bronzer. I'm just fluffing up the brush on my hand and then putting it in the product. I love this bronzer because it doesn't look like too much. So I'm just going to do the perimeter of my face. Right under the jawline. And I'm going to take this Royal and Langnickel brush, and I'm going to apply a little bit of MAC Painterly Paint Pot as my eyeshadow base today. This is just a cream nude shadow. I think most of you are familiar with that. My all-time favorite eyeshadow base. And I'm just going to apply most of that on the lid and in the crease, and then take anything that's left and bring it upward into the brow bone highlight area. I like this for two reasons. I like the way shadows apply over it, but I also like the way it covers discoloration and veining, because many eyeshadow primers do not do that. They're just clear. And eyeshadow primer is more than just something to put your eyeshadow with, you know? I like this because it does multiple things. Alright, here we go. Let's dig into this palette. So you will be able to see as I use this today how well these shadows do or do not perform. So I'm going to start by taking this Wet n Wild brush. I don't think they have names on these white-handled ones. And I'm going to start with the shade White Chocolate, which is just a matte cream shadow. And I'm just brushing some of that onto my brush. And I'm just going to dust that all over the entire eye area. So anything that MAC Painterly Paint Pot missed in terms of covering up any red tones in my skin or any visible veining, that's just going to ensure that we don't see it at all. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to use is this shade right here. This is Salted Caramel. And I'm going to use this Wet n Wild blending brush. And this is going to be my transition shade, so I'm just putting the brush in there. And I'm going to put that right in the crease, but I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher. Than you would for just a regular old crease color. And as you can see, it's not really showing up that much. But that's what you want for your transition shade. You want something that isn't that visible. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. And that way you won't have a drastic contrast between the first color I laid down in the brow bone highlight area and whatever I'm going to do in the lid or the crease. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Milk Chocolate. And I'm going to take a different brush. This is a Real Techniques eye brush. And I always like to fluff up my brushes before I dip them in the eyeshadow, because I deep clean my brushes every day, whichever ones I use. So sometimes after you wash them thoroughly like that, it just leaves them kind of squished. So I like to fluff them up. Alright, so let's take that Milk Chocolate shade. And I'm just dipping my brush in there. And this is a much darker color than that Salted Caramel we used. And we're going to go right in the actual crease this time. Just like that. Okay, now with that very same brush, I'm going to go over to Triple Fudge right in the corner here. And this is a really dark color, so I'm going to very gently tap my brush in there. And I'm going to put some of that just in the outer corner of the crease area. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit onto the outside part of my lid. The tone of this Triple Fudge is kind of unique. It's got a coolness to it that you don't see a lot in palettes. Sometimes it's fun to mix the warmer shadows with the cooler ones. You can get an interesting effect. Okay, so just taking a tiny little bit of this at a time because it's so much easier to start small and apply it rather than apply too much and then have to figure out how you're going to blend it out without making a big mess. Okay, just bring that in a little bit at the bottom of the lid on the outside part. Okay, now I'm going to take, let's see, let's go in with this one right here, which is called Marzipan. And I'm going to use a MAC 239 brush with that. And I'm just going to put that on the lids. But I'm not going to bring it all the way over. I want to leave that darkness that I applied on the outside part. So I'm going about 3/4 of the way in. Okay, now I'm just going to flip this brush over to the other side, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this creme brulee right underneath it. And I'm going to pop that right in the center of my lid only. Okay, so that's, I'm going to put that palette aside for a minute. And I'm going to use my Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in Black Fever. And I saw that, you know, the clock timer was getting pretty long, so I just applied that right on my lower lash line, and then I also did my tight line just to save a few minutes there. Now we're going to go back into this palette, and I'm going to take this small Zoeva pencil brush, and I think, let's see, which one should I do along the lower lash line? I think I want to use, by the way, you can use a brown pencil too. That would look just as good with this look, but the black just pops a little bit more. I think I'm going to use that cool triple fudge color. Just put a little bit of that on this Zoeva pencil brush and just drag that right at the edge of that eyeliner on the bottom. Just like that. Okay, now off camera, because this, like I said, the time is getting a little crazy, I'm going to put Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Mascara on my bottom lashes. Then I'm going to curl my lashes with my Shiseido, I don't know why that name just went out of my head, but yeah, I'm going to curl my lashes with my Shiseido Lash Curler. Then I'm going to apply Essence Lash Princess Long False Lash Effect Mascara on my top lashes. I'm going to do my brows with LA Colors Browie Wowie Brow Pencil in light / medium. I have a tutorial on my brows if you want to see how I do those. And then I'll be back to do the lip product. Everyone is coming out with these triangle shaped tip brow pencils. Maybelline just came out with one, Wet n Wild just released one, and the reason why everybody is jumping on the bandwagon with these is because you get the formula of a pomade with the precision of a pencil. It's like those two products merged together into one product. And if you haven't tried one of these types of brow products yet, they are awesome, and I can't see myself not using something like this anymore. This particular one by LA Colors, the color works great for me. No matter what color I dye my hair, I feel like this particular shade works good. But yeah, so if you haven't tried something like that yet, then I would strongly recommend you do. All right, let's move on to the lips. NYX Lip Primer. A lot of times when I use this, I don't have to use a pencil to define my lips because something magical happens when you apply this. Whatever lip product you use over this seems to stick to it. Okay, for a lipstick today, I chose this lipstick because everybody is going crazy over the new lipstick that was released by Rihanna. And if you don't want to spend that much money for a lipstick and you just want the color, the Kleancolor Madly Matte Lip Gloss in Bitten. This is a liquid lipstick, it is not a lip gloss. This is the same shade as that new Rihanna lipstick. And from what I've seen, the formula looks very similar as well. So I'm going to use this today. So what I do is I use whatever is on the wand for one section of my lip, and then I dip it back in one more time to do the other half of my lip. And now I will remove the crazy cat ear headband and be right back. That is it, you guys. That is the Okalan Natural Color Eyeshadow Palette, and that is the one that is called either Day or B, depending on how you look at it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.